call the meeting to order. Could we have the attendance, please?
Captain Murphy. Paula Crocker here. Marcia Dykes. Mackie.
Here.
Cindy. Here. Arlene.
Here.
Norma.
Here.
John.
Here.
Marjorie.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Naomi.
Here.
Karen Getcher, she's not here, right?
No.
Okay, Monica.
Here.
And Colleen.
Oh, wait, Kate Mildy's online.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hello.
Hi.
All right,
Hopefully you can hear everything.
I can hear everyone.
Yep.
Could we have the minutes, please? Or any comments on the minutes or a motion to approve? I move that we accept the presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Minutes are approved.
No, we have to vote first.
Sorry. All those in favor? Opposed?
One abstention. Absent.
Got it.
All right. And did you got that Kate's online, right?
Yeah.
You want to introduce, I guess, the new commission member? Should we introduce the new commission member?
Yeah.
All right. How's it going, Kate? I guess we'll just go around the circle because I know this is the first time you're joining us. This is Kate. I'm Scott. I'm the director of the senior center.
I am Norma. Welcome.
I'm Arlene Brown.
Matthew Harding. Nice to meet you.
John Thomas.
Naomi Rodriguez. Marjorie Winslow. Paula Crocker. Cindy McLean. Monica Bearberry.
Nice to meet everyone. Thank you for letting me come virtually.
Let's see, we don't have any citizens' comments.
Yes, I have one. Yeah, I had one that was asked by one of the members out there. Did we ever purchase the priority?
No, it's on my list to bring Jimmy to Liberty. Because we were looking online, but we're gonna go check over there because it's like a specialty kitchen store. Actually, he's giving me a hard time because I told him I would do that on Valentine's Day with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cindy, did you say someone was coming?
You have also noticed the fact that we don't have weapons for the yoga classes.
Well, perhaps we could just continue if she comes. We'll.
Because she just told me. We talked about it this morning, so I don't know if something happened.
Didn't we decide that we were going to stick with not doing walk-ins?
Yes, we did decide that last night. I think we even voted on it last time. Yes, we did. She's a little upset about it, so I said, "You come if you wish to talk about it."
Any communications? Let's get us going.
Director report. So bathroom doors are still on the ARPA list. I believe the public comment period's over or almost over. Then I think the finance committee will start narrowing down that list and possibly allocating money to start some of those projects the mayor said. So that could be coming up shortly. The budget, I met with the mayor already and then the finance committee. We've had no cuts made so far. Next step will be getting approved by town council, and then it goes to public hearing for the residents to vote on it. The spring events magazine was mailed out to everybody in Gales Ferry and Ledyard. We started our breakfast buffet this month where we're charging $5 a person. And it's been a pretty good success so far. We've seen growth each week with more and more people showing up. The word's kind of spreading by mouth, which is good. We've been posted on Facebook and down at the road. But we're just, continuing to spread the word, and each week a few more people show up. So that's been doing well.
Is it paying for itself?
Yeah. That's the best thing. Eggs, and that stuff's cheap. It's cheaper too, so it's easier to bring people. With like eggs and bread, milk we use it to make like French toast and all that kind of thing. We had Patty Carver, and it was well attended. We were a little worried that we'd have low attendance due to the snowstorm they were predicting for that afternoon, but the weather held out for us. And then also we had our St. Patrick's Day lunch, and Sergeant McKinney, Lieutenant Cruz came and gave a great talk about scams and preventing identity theft. And then we have a few upcoming events. April 6th, there's a presentation by the Denison Pequot Nature Center. They got a grant to be able to come in and give this presentation to us. I believe it's on owls, predators in your backyard. Then we have the Easter luncheon, April 13th. Hopefully the singer will not get sick this time. I think the last two, that's been an issue. Then Mother's Day lunch on May 5th or 4th, and then Cinco de Mayo taco bar on May 5th. Yeah, I think the 5th is a Thursday.
Any questions or comments? Okay, we'll back up to citizens' comments.
Citizens' comments. So if you would like to comment, this is Jenna Olson, and she's a citizen who would like to come and comment on the fact that we do not have walk-ins for yoga or other classes.
Yes, if I may. My understanding is that the yoga class is subsidized, and it's a benefit for senior citizens for their health and well-being in Ledyard. And previously, we were able to pay up to the capacity limit, which was 20 people. And some years ago, we often had that many people, but lately we don't. And the new policy is that we must pay for the duration of the class as a whole at the beginning. So if you take 2 classes, which I do, it's $100. And that means that if you're gone at all, you're still paying for that amount of money. And I just think that perhaps it should be considered that for people like senior citizens like myself, who travel a lot in the winter, family or whatever reasons, that it would be beneficial and bring in a lot more people if they could come to an individual class or pay by individual class, rather than having to pay for the entire duration of the class. That's my question.
Well, we did discuss it at the last meeting, and the consensus of the commission was to continue the policy as it was. However, I did bring it up, and I would like to see it, but the commission voted otherwise. You think we should bring it up again?
We could bring it up again, yes.
Who's able to make a motion? Is the citizen able to make a motion?
So if we're going to bring it up again, I think we need to re-go over everything we said last week, the reasons why it was voted down, which was tracking, making sure they had enough income, paid instructors, etc. If you have, we talked about it last week, if you have just walk-ins, then some weeks you could only have 1, and some weeks you could have 20. And then they don't know if they're bringing in enough money, pay the instructor, and any other expense back.
Yeah, because we had multiple classes getting canceled that weren't before because But like 4 people would show up as a walk-in the day of, and we'd cancel because we wouldn't have enough people registered to run it.
Right, in order to run the classes, they have to have a minimum number of people in order to be able to pay for the instructor.
We have to be.
So that was the main discussion.
So it has, may I ask a question?
Yeah.
So it has to pay for itself. It's not just the benefit of the senior.
I believe
center
that's
for
paid for it.
citizens.
Yeah, they'll have to answer that.
We need a certain amount so that there's money in the budget to help pay for it. But actually they cut us $4,000 out of that line for starting this budget year. Actually, we're getting fairly low already this year. And we still have 3 months left. So I'm actually a little worried about that. So I gotta see that if, the money that's was taken in can be applied back towards the program. I gotta talk to the finance director. But we did see a lot of classes get canceled due to people coming in for walk-ins. Because if there's one person registered, we won't run a class. And then we have 3 or 4 people show up the day of, trying to, pay as a walk-in, and we'd already canceled.
I just have one comment, and that's of course that once people know that they can't come as walk-ins, they're not going to. So, I mean, that is sort of self-defeating once you say you won't be by walk-in.
So all those people then were forced to register ahead of time, which we've seen them do. So we've had numbers now that they know they have to register ahead of time. We get the because they're not coming as a walk-in. They pay for the entire class.
Yes, I'm one of those people.
It's really a catch-22.
So you're part of the silver speakers?
No, so Silver Students is a little different. That's a program run through, a lot of people have it covered with their insurance.
Yeah.
So that money really doesn't come to us at all. It's handled through the instructor. She confirms your insurance. If not, you can pay a small fee, like $5 to her for the classes per class.
How much out of class?
I think it's around $5 or $6.
She just takes.
By donation.
She just takes. You give her too much. That's too much. That's my favorite.
We just provide the space.
Right. And if you don't come, then you don't pay for it. So we just, when you can come, you pay.
What did we have yesterday?
We had 18 yesterday.
18?
Yeah, 18 yesterday.
Good thing for us.
Yeah, I counted them before the class was over. There was 18 yesterday, which is the most we've ever had.
They can all sign in.
But maybe I'm the way out of it. Oh, she reminded us.
Maybe what we can do is everybody brainstorm and see if we can come up with any additional ideas, or if you have some, please share them. I don't know what else to tell you.
Not possible that the online registration could accommodate picking your weeks?
It might. That gets a little trickier. That would be easier to track if they just walked in. But then we're not sure if we're going to run a program or not, which was the
Well,
big
if they pick their
concern
weeks,
for
they
us.
have to pay.
Well, the people that are committed to coming for the entire time should get first registration, and then if there's spaces available, then maybe that might work, but like, that's what we're trying to keep track of people. So that if it's an emergency of any kind, you know whether or not you're here.
Whereas we
They
could,
don't sign in.
they
They should sign in.
accept walk-ins after the minimum number of the class is filled. So if we don't have enough people registered, it's going to be dropped anyway. But only after the class has enough to be up and running, if there is room, allow walk-ins.
I think that fits.
That's what we're doing before. But when people know that they can be a walk-in and don't have to register, then they don't register. So right back to square one. That was our main issue. That we were canceling more programs than we are currently because we were taking walk-ins.
When we first did it, too, it was we had at least
between 15 and 20 in all of the yoga classes. And so we had walk-ins to the point where people would come and the whole class would be filled because 20 people were stuck with the limit. So, some of the people that paid.
Weren't allowed access.
Yeah. So,
What we ended up doing was we didn't allow walk-ins until right at the beginning of the class to make sure if there were the 20 people in the class, they were there and the walk-ins are out of luck. But we haven't had that problem.
and I do remember somebody came in, he was and there wasn't any room.
I don't know why our numbers have dropped precipitously in the yoga classes.
All over.
Yeah, oh, are they all over? Well, the next one.
Yeah, the pandemic,
Yeah, so we haven't made it come back yet.
depends on the class. There's a bunch of yoga classes. There's like chair yoga, regular yoga, there's like Friday chair yoga. There's a bunch of them. The pandemic though is taking a toll on the numbers, that's for sure.
And I think it depends on the class. I know that my teach the line dancing. When we have somebody come in, it sort of disturbs the whole class because we have to start teaching that person. And people have been doing it for some time. So I think it depends on what the class is too. I mean, some people that have been there, we've had to walk in to take everything away from them to get this other person sort of up to any kind of a dance stuff.
That doesn't include you.
You
You provide the entertainment.
I see, that was last, yes. I heard that you did discuss it before.
Really couldn't see
Yeah.
the alternative.
I understand. I don't think it disturbs the class though, because most of the people I've talked to want to go to yoga, but don't sign up
See,
for
that's
it.
what I'm saying. It
It's a
depends on what the
different,
class.
yeah, well, on a mat, when no one else is
Yeah,
looking
right.
at you, you're
Mhm.
doing whatever you want.
Yeah, and even chair yoga probably, but this particular one that I do, there are different routines and the rest are all doing it, and then I have to stop and resist, and then they never come back. Right?
Yeah.
The whole hour of them.
Yeah, well, thank you for considering.
Oh, and I was gonna say, so I just wanted to look at our records from the fall of 2019, because we had started using our program, so I was able to just go in and look at Wednesday yoga. And for that 10-week session, we had 6 people signed up for the entire 10 weeks. And then we only had 6 drop-ins during that entire 10 weeks. So, I mean, I brought in, what, $30, but it's like, the other day, when it was really cold and dreary and stuff, if you don't have that incentive of, I already paid $5 for this class, you're all coming home.
Okay, like, if you were signing up for a class and you pay for all of them all at once and leave it up to that people who show up and stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
because you sign up, you don't have to attend, if you're not gonna be here 1 week, you can skip a class, it's just, there's only that one option. You pay for the whole 10 weeks.
Oh, so you do have that option. You pay for the 10 weeks or whatever, and then.
Whenever you show up, you show up.
So,
But you don't get a refund if you.
well, that goes right in.
Yeah. So if you miss, 4 classes,
Yeah, that's
you
normal.
pay for it.
Yeah.
$20.
When you sign up to. I'm sort of speaking for other people, like, for example, Mary Ellen Blicky told me that she's gone a lot, but she'd love to come, but she's not gonna pay for it, of course. Because you don't know if she'll be here. Anyway, so that's.
Well,
Thank you.
I'm sorry, but we
No, I understand.
okay. Did any of the commissioners have comments about anything else? Okay, old business. We talked about hometown heroes last time.
May I ask something? I'll start.
You start, okay, good.
Mary Jane would like to know, would like us to quickly, decide on a name, because she said that the quilts will have to be made differently if they're quilts of valor versus hometown heroes. That's all I have.
And they are doing what?
I don't know. I didn't get that. I didn't ask that. She didn't ask me to ask that, so.
Mary's like 41.
No, she, was Sharon told me, it has to do with the size that they,
And how they tie it, I believe,
well, I.
stitch it. I think they said the quilts of valor have to be like stitched and sewn together, but I think if they were doing, say, hometown heroes, because it's not under quilts of valor, they don't have to follow their specifications, like they could, I think, do like the tied end quilt,
Yeah.
which is easier to
They
make.
can bring that up, it had to do with the size and the top. Of the
Yeah.
quilt had to be a certain kind of material, I think. I had this here, but it's not here. But to go with the name, Mary Jane told me that their hometown heroes encompassed everybody, whether they were a veteran or not. And you can only get a quilt of honor, of course. QOB, if you were a former military or current military. So I had a problem with that. Like, we want to give you a quilt of valor. Have you been in the military? Because I can't give one, but I could make her a quilt of honor. But that's an entirely different thing, and I personally do not want to combine the two, since there's more than enough people to do a quilt of valor. We have 5 now that we were looking at. Mary, I don't know what, Mary Jane has a list of names, but I don't know how many of them are military. The people I've been speaking with, the Quilts of Valor people, the organization, have lists of names that aren't connected with any one particular place. And then they just, you send it in, you go to the bottom of the line and you work your way up. If we do it, it has to be done online. And she says, you put in a note on there that we are doing it here, give it a time and date, and these are the people, this person we want to give a quilt of valor to on November 11th or what, which is not going to be this year. And then that's the way you do it. The only thing that they ask is that if we have room to do somebody else, that we take somebody who's not from our area or on our list.
Or maybe
That's
like-
already on the list, so
Or maybe like figure out how many we want to give and leave one for people that have been waiting.
that, because we were trying to keep it to, here again, my opinion when it all started, keeping it first to the center and then to the Ledger, Gales Ferry area people. And then expand out. I think we thought that was a good idea. I don't remember.
And we're talking quilts of valor, and Mary Jane can do hometown heroes,
That's
whatever she's.
Well, they're trying to help, they're doing whatever we're doing, not.
well, Deb says that they have quotes.
Well, I think it's kind of disrespectful though that they've been making quotes for this, and then say we don't want them. They worked pretty hard on those quotes.
But are they making them according to?
Currently, but I think if we switch the name is why they want to know if there's a much easier way for them to make them.
What would they prefer? Do you know what they would prefer to do?
Do not. I would think it'd be going separate, because then they don't have to follow those parameters. I think they're saying they could even make nicer clothes, but and just they don't have the size.
So it would be two separate events. Two separate dinners. One for
I think that's what we're trying to decide, if we eliminate quilts of valor and do instead as like quilts of honor, our own quilts without using that organization's trademark.
almost seems like really happy. That's not what they can be.
Never gonna make everybody happy. What can you say? You're old enough to know that.
Can we do both and have one combined ceremony, or would that enlist too many?
I think
It would be
Yeah.
too many people.
too many people, and also would be complicated to make sure that the cult of valor person is, the cult of valor was going to the correct person, not somebody like a police officer,
Or a fire chief.
or a fire somebody, that hasn't been in the service, but has done some heroic deed. That he gets it, but he's not, they're not qualified.
I think it takes away from both quilts to combine it.
So then we need to decide which one we're doing. We need to decide soon. Just saying. She'll know. Oh, we did this one.
I thought we had already, I didn't see it in the minutes, but I thought it was. But I had another thing, we had 4 things we were considering.
Let's move forward with plans for quilts of valor.
So we don't have to vote if you're gonna change it. The quilts of honor, if you're gonna change it from quilts of valor, because you guys voted quilts of valor.
Well,
Quilts of valor.
see, we did vote on it. We renamed the event to Quilts of Valor Presentation. And the date to be determined would be either Thursday before Veterans Day. And then we voted to move on with that, so.
But at any time, you can make a motion to change that again.
Right, we can, but for now. It's
Well, I'm
it's
thinking
Quilts
there's
of
so many
Valor.
names on the list to do the quilts of valor, that we stick with that.
Yeah, so
And I have a suggestion of another name when I found Sergeant Mike was here last week. And, he's a ledger police officer, et cetera, et cetera. They also served in the Navy, Army, excuse me. You didn't hear that, did you? So I'm thinking, since he's not a member of here, he doesn't live in Ledger, but he is a
Works here.
police officer that works here.
he's still part of the rented community.
Right.
What did you know?
I don't remember. He went through so many different things, I don't remember. But I figured he was a Ledger officer. Which would bring us, Mike said he would do it. What's his name? Perrant? Joe Perrant? He said he wants one. You haven't talked to Bobby?
No, I was waiting till we had a date and everything.
Well, we should set the date then today? Okay.
Didn't we do that last week?
No.
No, it was kind of iffy because we found out the 11th, a Friday. Yeah, I mean, we weren't open on it.
Oh, yeah, we said it would
I think the week
be
before.
either the Thursday before Veterans Day or the Friday after Veterans
Oh, I thought it was a Friday before. Because the other
So
one.
it's on Friday, there's something wrong with Friday?
It's the 11th?
Yeah.
And we're closed on Veterans Day?
Closed.
If we're having a special event, it doesn't mean we can't.
open, because you're not open on Friday nights anyways. You're not open on Friday nights anyways.
Did we have it on Friday before?
That would be kind of decorate.
Are we do an egg hunt for Parks and Rec the day before Easter? We're definitely not supposed to work.
So you want to just do it on Veterans Day? Which is the 11th, which is Friday. correct?
With the fifth, it's Friday.
But you said we weren't open. They,
No, but we can.
Like,
What
they
does-
can't-
Yeah, for a
Well,
special
we're not
event.
anyway.
Does that mean double time?
Oh, yeah.
One-
Double
It
time
is,
and a half.
so just I work that night.
Well, I prefer to be.
I mean, I'll double check with HR, because I got maybe Jimmy's union.
We have to have Jimmy.
Yeah, we gotta have. to do that. So, all right, so November 11th.
Because I remember if you ever came to the event, it was on Friday,
Yeah,
starting at 5, and then it ended like around 7. So everybody was still here working. I know it can be done
Nobody's here working on Friday at that time.
for that event, they would.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so should we say, tentative November 11th?
Why don't we have
Oh, we'll double check.
a motion to that effect? It would be that date, assuming,
There's no union issue.
right,
All right, that's what I'm saying.
you're making motion.
No, I'll make a motion, yes, I will. And it's November 11th, assuming we have no, union issue with. Jimmy.
Pending clearance by.
Yes, okay, that's better.
And if not, can you do it the Thursday before?
Well, maybe we should,
No, let's just do this one right now and then. You seconded?
Yep.
Okay,
I did, Cindy seconded it.
okay.
All those in favor? Opposed?
And the name is Coach Ballard.
Pending,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
she raised her hand, right?
Yeah.
I did.
oh,
She raised her hand.
okay, new business. Any comments about the renters rebate?
This was Karen asked, she had a training though last minute get scheduled, but basically April 1st to October 31st, they're accepting renters rebate applications. They're online on the town website, the nursing office, senior housing. We'll probably get some here at some point. But then they all get returned to the nursing office. Just want to let everybody know.
So you're definitely going to have some here.
I'll ask her for some. We should usually have stack.
I would like it. Yeah. You said we have email.
Yeah, it'll be a stack.
Any other new business?
I have a correction to the contact list. My phone number should be 860-501-2071. And the address should be 23 Bittersweet Drive, Galesburg.
That's why you guys sometimes leave.
What did you say?
Would you say your phone number again?
Yeah, that's not the one I did.
860-501-2071. 23 Bittersweet Drive, Galesburg.
Unless it was unless there was someone there before that we didn't change their address phone number.
So it was 5012.
2071.
Thank you. Any other new business? Last month, we talked about officers, and we probably should put that on the agenda for next month.
Already?
Well, he is supposed to have election office. What month are we supposed to have
February.
last month.
Not my question.
Well, we didn't have one last year.
Right.
Because of COVID, before the year before, the bylaws or whatever.
Whatever, they maintain the same slate of laws.
You can make that motion.
I so move.
I'll second.
Discussion.
All right, wait a minute, what are we doing?
Well, we just-
All right, the whole slate of officers. So for the new people, we should probably tell the new people who that is.
Will the chair please stay? The vice chair, please stay. Oh, Cindy's not gonna stay. Here goes Paul.
And that's me. All right, so you moved, John. Got it. You seconded.
Now.
Matt.
No, I don't want to do it.
I can give it back to you.
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, sorry. Discussion.
I think they've done a wonderful job.
All those in favor?
Opposed?
That's behind you, I guess. I have a question for you. Do you want to tell people, like, trying to get things for silver sneakers, new chairs, or anything? If I send you that?
I'm working on that. I need to get pricing for the chairs. The silver sneaker stuff, we should go just get out of the budget, but chairs might be a little beyond that.
What kind of chairs?
New ones.
Which, these or those?
Replacing, like, I think these, but also maybe some of those too.
Yeah.
We're looking at pricing. I think Monica, there were some really comfortable chairs. We're just trying to see if they'll last a long time. And then we did receive a bunch of donation money. When a member passed away, they had donations that you give in here and move flowers. So I think we did get a decent amount of money there that could be possibly used to purchase new chairs.
Would they be taller?
That's what I was looking at, because for silver sneakers, they say they want a taller chair, but it's, I got the silver sneaker chair spec in my office, but I'm trying to see what matches or is close to it.
Okay, you can get the other stuff that was requested.
Yeah,
prior to
oh
that.
yeah, the weights and the equipment, yeah.
This all came about because there wasn't enough equipment here for the people coming to silver sneakers. I think there were like 4 sets of weights. So it was buying more weights, more balls, and I guess the bands have gotten organized and
I
I
don't,
have a few
I don't
more of
think
those.
we need more bands. But we do need weights and we do need balls. We couldn't get balls yesterday because the class was so big and we didn't have enough balls. We do need those.
We don't need too many weights, but we need the wire.
Yeah, she
Yes.
said 1, 2, and 3 pounds.
Yes,
I don't think there's anybody using.
I don't think there's any 3 pounds in there.
There are 3 pounds.
There are, does anybody use them?
Yes, yes, some people do that. But we definitely don't need the 5 pounds. So
No. So we just need that to accommodate, the class.
I have another question. Did we pass the policy on procedure or whatever, what is it called?
The policies, yes.
Yes, we did.
I believe, yeah, I don't think you were there that week.
And I see we have new lights. That's good. I thought we were going to try to go recess though, but
Yeah, the mayor's talking to Public Works about possibly having them raised. They can go up or down, which is the good thing about the setup. Not like by remote, but they can go and actually just pull the stock up. Because the mayor really noticed the same thing. We want them up in the ceiling as close to the ceiling as possible.
are there other plans for capital improvements in the building?
Well, through the ARPA funds, they're looking, one of the things that was brought up was automatic door openers for the bathroom. because the doors are very heavy. I'm not sure, I know Steve mentioned about the parking lot might be due for sealing and repaving, but I'm not sure when,
Windows.
oh, the inside or,
Yeah.
And minor things like the seal for that door over there.
Oh, yeah.
or the draft stuff.
The little section.
Right. Any other new business?
I'd just like to thank Monica for putting the covers on the light, the light pocket in the ladies' room. That bothers me a lot, how it's covered. Thank you.
Anybody have agenda items they would like to see for next month? There is nothing, motion to adjourn.
On the windows, are all the windows they be painted? Like from the whole building?
I'm gonna look at the whole building, I was just looking at those the other day and thought that it was a little.
Like task force.
You walk around.
Yeah, the wood techers have got to the gable end over there. The public works does the maintenance for the building, so I just send them my list. It'll get on the list.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
We need to get permission for stuff from the union because it's technically crossing union lines that I think is public works responsibility. They've always said yes, but it would just be a technicality, get permission first before we do it.
Liability.
Yeah, like this room, because they'd have to get up, like we had someone do the bathroom, but it's not, recessed walls, so they're not up on a ladder. Here, you might have to worry about someone falling.
We'll just let John do his talk. We'll let you pick. It's all you can do to find. And you can join me.
Who do you need to ask about the, November 11th event? Is that HR?
I'll just confirm with Don that it's not, time and a half or overtime for anybody.
There's no further discussion. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
See you next month.
Bye.
See you. Nice to meet you.
Next time.
Stop me, find out. Let me know.
Organization. No, that's the one we were talking about.